If you love ghost stories, mysteries, and spooky tales, you definitely should not miss this. Hello, friends. It's great to see you again. Today, I have a story to share about a housekeeper or maid that I think you'll find intriguing. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. The story I'm about to tell you comes from Tom. A quick background: Tom is an architect who has designed many houses, including the one in this story, which belongs to his older sister. One day, Tom happened to meet his sister for dinner. She was thrilled to see him and said, "I have something to tell you. It just happened last night." Here's what his sister shared. One evening, Tom's sister attended a funeral at a local temple. Since parking was scarce, she ended up parking in a remote, less visible spot. After the service, she returned to her car with a friend. She offered to drop her friend off at the main road, so her friend joined her in the car. As they drove to the main road, they ran into another group of friends. One of them looked into the car and asked, "Why is there such a big crowd in your car?" Tom's sister heard the comment but pretended not to understand, replying, "What are you talking about? I don't understand." She continued driving home, brushing it off as nothing. That night, her husband wasn't home as he was away for work in another province. Normally, the house had 4 residents: herself, her husband, and their 2 children, but since her husband was away, only 3 people were in the house, along with the housekeeper, making it 4. Before going to bed, she double-checked all the doors and windows to ensure they were securely locked. The house was equipped with a security system requiring a passcode to activate. If the code wasn't entered and a door was opened, the alarm would go off. There were 3 access points for the security system: near the first-floor staircase, outside the master bedroom, and near the entrance to the housekeeper's quarters. The security system was divided into 2 sets. The first, controlled by the homeowners, could lock or unlock the entire house. The second, in the housekeeper's quarters, only controlled the kitchen and the housekeeper's living area. Previously, the family had another housekeeper who had taken a break to visit her family in Myanmar. Tragically, she passed away during her trip and never returned. The family then hired a new housekeeper who lived in a smaller house adjacent to the main house. Tom's sister's 2 sons slept in separate rooms from her, and that night, she went to bed as usual. After drifting off to sleep, she was suddenly startled awake by the sound of the front door downstairs shaking violently, thunk, thunk, thunk. She lay in bed, listening closely, unsure if the noise was caused by the wind or something else. Moments later, she heard the distinct sound of someone pressing the buttons on the security system. The siren blared throughout the house, both inside and outside, its sound echoing in the quiet night. Tom's sister glanced at the clock. It was around midnight. Fearing the noise would disturb her neighbors, she assumed it was her son who had triggered the alarm. She quickly opened her bedroom door and yelled, "Why are you up so late?" She deactivated the alarm system from the panel near her bedroom and headed downstairs to check the main security panel where the alert was triggered. To her surprise, everything seemed normal, no signs of intrusion or any issues. Before heading back to bed, she stopped by her son's rooms to check on them. Both boys were fast asleep, undisturbed. Relieved, she returned to her bedroom, only to hear the siren blare again just as she was about to lie down. This time, annoyed and certain someone in the house was causing the disturbance, she shouted, "PLE, is that you? Why are you trying to come in?" PLE was the new housekeeper. At this point, Tom's sister was convinced it was an inside issue. After all, if it had been a burglar, the first alarm would have scared them off. She got out of bed, turned off the alarm, and grabbed a flashlight to investigate. Again, there was nothing unusual on the first floor. However, as she climbed the stairs back to her room, a chilling thought crossed her mind. What if it wasn't PLE? What if it was AE, the previous housekeeper who had passed away? Nervously, she muttered under her breath, "AE, don't play games with me." The previous housekeeper, AE, had been a bit mentally unstable before her death. Before returning to her room, she checked her son's rooms again, suspecting one of them might have triggered the motion sensor while getting up to use the bathroom. When she opened the door, her eldest son was groggily awake and asked, "Mom, why is the alarm going off?" At that moment, she realized it wasn't her son's. She calmly told her son to sleep in her room for the rest of the night. Something strange was definitely going on. She decided to turn off the entire security system to prevent any further disruptions. With her son now in her bed, they were just starting to relax when suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed in the hallway outside her bedroom. Thump, thump, thump. The footsteps stopped right in front of the bedroom door. A loud bang followed as if someone had knocked hard on the door. Both mother and son jumped. Her son whispered, "Mom, who's knocking on the door?" She quickly reassured him, "It's nothing, sweetheart. Don't worry." Grabbing her phone, she called PLE, the housekeeper who lived in the smaller house next door. "PLE, did you come upstairs just now?" she asked. PLE responded calmly, "No, ma'am, I've been sitting here watching TV." Tom's sister glanced out the window toward the housekeeper's quarters and could see PLE sitting there, just as she said. Not wanting to frighten PLE, she ended the call with, "Okay, it's nothing. Don't worry." Curiosity got the better of her. She cautiously opened her bedroom door, peeking into the hallway, but no one was there. That night, she told her son, "Let's leave the TV on while we sleep. It'll help us relax." And so they did, the soft sound of the TV filling the unsettling silence of the house. Then, the two of them left the TV on and eventually fell asleep until morning. Now, let me share a little more background about the previous housekeeper. She had been with the family since the house was being built. Back then, the house had just been equipped with the new security system, and there were also surveillance cameras installed. Tom's sister had set up the cameras to monitor her children while she was away from home. The previous housekeeper had some peculiar behaviors. Once, while reviewing recorded footage from the security cameras, Tom's sister noticed something odd. The housekeeper was sweeping the floor when she suddenly dropped the broom and started performing strange, ritual-like movements. Shocked and confused, she later asked the housekeeper, "Why were you dancing the other day?" The housekeeper calmly replied, "I wasn't dancing. I didn't do anything." The housekeeper also had another strange quirk. She often did the exact opposite of what she was told. For example, if she was told, "Don't step here," she would deliberately step there right away. As for her death, she passed away suddenly in Myanmar and reportedly died while pregnant. At her funeral, none of her relatives showed up. Tom's sisters suspected that she might have caused trouble in her hometown, leading to her isolation. The housekeeper had no social connections in Bangkok aside from the family. Tom's sister believed that after her death, the housekeeper's spirit had returned to the house. Hearing this, Tom suggested a solution. Tonight, light some incense and firmly tell the spirit not to enter the house or the property. Place a Buddha statue in the hallway near your bedroom or by the head of your bed for protection. That night, Tom's sister was too frightened to stay alone, so she invited a relative to spend the night with her. The next day, Tom called to check in. His sister reassured him, "Everything's fine now. Nothing strange happened last night." She also shared another method she had tried. She opened her car door, called out the deceased housekeeper's name, and invited her spirit to join her in the car. She then drove to the temple, opened the car door, and said, "You can get out here." It was as though she was delivering the spirit to the temple. Many of you might wonder about the surveillance footage from that night. Yes, Tom's sister did review the recordings. The sound of someone pressing the security buttons was indeed captured, but the cameras showed no signs of any unusual activity or intruder. The same goes for the footsteps and the loud knock on the bedroom door. No one appeared in the footage. Since that incident, Tom's sister hasn't experienced anything strange in the house again. This story might not be the scariest, but I hope you found it interesting and a good companion for the late night hours. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel to show your support and ensure you don't miss any new stories. Don't forget to click the notification bell for updates on new uploads. Thank you for watching and listening. See you in the next video. Goodbye.